what the action they have embarked on over the last 48 hours, what did they say lead to it? What are they telling you to do now? What are their demands? What are their demands?
They mainly concern about three parameters of the price structure. And these parameters are the trader's premium,
yes,
the importer margin per cycle, and the LC cost.
So tell us now, what is meant by traders?
Traders premium.
That's the big importers or the ones who bring fuel here or whatever.
You know, let me explain briefly how it works.
Yeah.
The trader premium. Okay, oil is a product that you do not deal directly with the refineries.
No.
You have to pass through what we call a trader.
Yes.
The refineries, they refine the oil, give it to a trader to sell it on their behalf or on behalf of whosoever on that particular product.
Okay.
So as a result, that trader, his involvement in the value chain attracts some cost and some sort of income for him, for the services that he's rendering.
In other words, they are middlemen.
Exactly, they are middlemen. So it came to the realization that when we made an assessment in the sub-region, we realized that the traders premium in the Gambia was somewhat generous, and also the price structure was also skewed towards traders. So as a result, there was a government engagement to see how best to also mitigate the full pass-through effect of the Russian-Ukraine war, you know, the exchange rate difficulties in the pricing. So this was what led to a marginal reduction of the traders premium from $100 per metric ton to $80 per metric ton for PMS, EGO, and then.
So why are they concerned that you have reduced that? Because why are they supporting, so to speak, the traders? This kind of?
Maybe there are several other factors. We know, you know, if government is having to do away with $1.2 billion in 6 months, that is too hard for a decision to take as a state. Having to have the capacity to be at the service of 4 million people. Losing 1.2 billion is not a fair stake. Take yourself, for instance. I have a family, maybe 6 people. I cannot even afford to lose $1,000 on my salary because if that happens, I cannot provide my basic essential to my family. And so does government. So that is one of the reasons why we are saying that framework of pricing need to shift towards allowing revenue to be generated, even if not at full optimal, but at a marginal that will allow government to provide services in health, provide services in education, provide services in security, and so forth and so forth.
So the other thing they talk about is withdrawal of letter of credit.
Yeah, that has been restored.
That has been restored.
Historically, this used to be an average of 2 and 2.5%.
Okay.
They had a meeting again. Let me tell you that pricing of petroleum products is no more at the Ministry of Finance. It has been taken as per the Petroleum Act. It is at the Ministry of Petroleum. But again, they do not do it independently. They do it with a multi-stakeholder committee where the Ministry of Trade, the Ministry of Finance, PURA, Standard, GAIPA, and the
Standard
Commission.
Bureau, not the Standard newspaper.
Yeah, Standard Bureau.
Okay.
Yeah. So these are all sitting members, and they deliberate on the basis of the data that has been provided, based on an internationally acceptable practice, where this data is generated from, which is called Platts, because it's one of the most standard platform where you can get energy prices to the dot and real time.
So the third one you said they're talking about is what then?
The third one is their dealer's margin.
Yes.
You for the time that I was at the Ministry of Finance, this dealer's margin used to be between $2 to $3. Recently, this dealer's margin has been increased up to 5.88 butus per liter. It was only this month per liter. That means for every liter that you sell, an OMC is getting $5.88 butus. In context, if you are selling, let's say, 2 million liters as an OMC, let's take GMPC for instance as an example. They sell 2 million liters, they're getting close to $12 million margin. And you know, that is such a big amount for people to make a first out of like $1 differential.
Okay.
Because I cannot imagine like in 1 month your overhead costs can be out of the limit because of a $1
Difference.
reduction. And besides, some of these OMCs, they own the transport system that they are deploying to uplift from the depot at Mandinari to their pump stations. So that is telling you that for that 5.88 is wholesomely owned by the OMC.
So that's
because
more,
it is meant to do transport and plus their overhead costs at the pumps.
You think by your calculation or the ministry's calculation, that's more than enough to cover whatever overheads they are crying about?
Absolutely.
By our estimation, I think that's a fair level of margin operating within the sub-regional benchmark.
Yes.
Yeah.